Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassidy, and it's been a rough 24 hours for Zion Williamson. First, he came out with a quote saying this.
Physically I'm fine. Now it's just a matter of when I feel like Zion.
He doesn't feel like Zion. Now, while I'm sure teammates, fans, and pretty much everyone revolving around the Pelicans organization wasn't too excited to hear that, what preceded that quote was much, much worse. Zion posted a picture with his girlfriend, and she's pregnant, which is exciting. And soon after, people found out what line of work his girlfriend's in. But after that, it got much, much worse because it turns out Zion has a type. As Mariah Mills was leaking on her Twitter Snapchat messages with Zion saying Zion wants Mariah and he wants her in New Orleans and he's willing to pay for her to be in New Orleans and he doesn't have a girlfriend and then once the internet found that, they started running. Patrick, is Zion stock at an all-time low? How does he come back for this? Is the PR team just drowning in work to do? And will we ever see him play for the Pelicans again?
Yeah, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say it. Zion, Josh and I, if you fly us down to New Orleans, we'll help with the PR team. That being said, I think we're in the wrong line of work.
Yeah, I don't think we're in quite the line of work that Zion would want us to be to go down there. Now, granted, Mariah Mills is a licensed private massage therapist. Well,
yes.
Allegedly. And so clearly, if we have to read into anything, I think it's what we got to read into that she was coming down there to perform work in a professional way.
It could be a business transaction, Josh, and that's and we haven't heard from Zion his side of story here, but I mean, we're talking. This could have just been a strictly business transaction, but when you start looking at, this isn't the only person coming out, and you got some other allegations, and you got some stuff. It's like, if I was Zion Williamson, I would love to be playing basketball right now, but Zion isn't feeling himself.
He's not feeling like Zion, and you got to feel like Zion if you're going to play like Zion. Now, what does this feeling like Zion feel like being under 450 pounds? I'm not saying that.
We don't know.
But whatever it is that he is not feeling right now, he's not feeling it, so he's not going to play. And of course, that's okay because he's already got the payday. The Pelicans have already said, "Hey, we saw a half a season from you. We're going to give you a supermax, and we're going to make sure that you're on this team for a very long time." And so the Pelicans got their guy. He's locked in. Zion feels like he's part of the organization. He's locked in.
And
it's going to all work itself
out.
And
you hope by October, Zion's feeling like Zion.
You really do hope. You hope by October Zion's feeling like Zion, and you hope to move on from there. But
I think there's two people that are very disappointed this morning, Josh. I think it's his dad, Booger McFarland.
Yep.
Obviously, probably taking some heat as well, and I can't imagine what Coach K's thinking this morning down there in Duke.
Oh man, Coach K, he's had some characters down there at Duke. You got the Kyrie Irving coming through. You got the Zion.
I raised this kid. This kid's one of my own, and maybe if he doesn't blow through that Nike shoe, maybe his career is totally different.
That's because this is going to be the biggest what if in NBA history.
What if ever?
You gotta wonder
because that starts the Zion injury problems. Because think about it, if that starts the Zion injury problems. Maybe Zion feels like Zion.
Maybe Zion, and then maybe he's not off the court so much that he doesn't have time to
be flying people down
for business transactions. Because you have to remember, this is very different from the Deshaun Watson situation because Deshaun Watson was with many different massage therapists. He said, I want to avoid that completely. I want to have one
singular. Is it? And we don't know all the details yet, but
we don't know.
And we don't know. We're not going to speculate.
Nope.
But
absolutely not.
I think there's one thing we know for fact. Zion wasn't feeling like Zion.
He wasn't feeling like Zion. And is feeling like Zion playing 29 games last year, no games the year before that, 61 games before that, missing a total of 156 games over the last 3 seasons. Is that what feeling like Zion is. I'm not sure. I don't even know if we know what seeing Zion looks like.
I'd argue feeling like Zion is not playing. So if Zion is feeling like Zion, that means he's doing his thing. He's eating a bunch of food. He's off the court. He's chilling.
Yep.
But maybe Zion's got a different opinion on
the
that.
Gumbo, as they say, is that the
big
thing?
gumbo down there in New Orleans?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing is maybe you're flying people down. Get some of that New Orleans cuisine.
Yep.
New Orleans, you get the Mardi Gras down there.
Yep.
Maybe there's a different side of the story. We don't know.
We don't know, but Zion, hoping everything gets worked out for you in that situation. Very, very interesting. Was not expecting that. Another thing that people, I guess weren't expecting, kind of just dropped out of nowhere. Chris Paul.
Didn't see it coming, Josh.
Released from the Suns. Now, the Suns are like three-peat champions of teams that people think are going to win.
Right.
It's like if there was a trophy for whatever the team that everyone thought was going to win.
They built a dynasty of preseason favorites.
Oh my goodness. I mean, they're right up there with the Nets. I mean, that's like an all-time like Lakers, Celtics, like in their prime matchup.
And who would have thought that, if you get part of the Nets roster and you take him to Phoenix, that the result would be different? I mean, who would have thought that?
Yeah. So you get Chris Paul, you get Devin Booker, you get Kevin Durant. And you think that that's going to be enough. Turns out not enough. Chris Paul, they said, yeah, you're not the piece that we're looking for. They get rid of him. Interesting move in the league where point guards are pretty important.
Yeah.
And there's not too many point guards that you can just have on your team. I mean, the list, it drops off quickly. It drops off so quickly, in fact, that Lonzo Ball is still on a team in hopes that he could play. Because they're like,
at some point again,
they're like, hey, maybe if he plays, he's probably better than the rest of these Joes. So they release Chris Paul. Now, obviously, this is a big indicator. They're trying to move in a different direction.
Moving on.
Maybe they're trying to get a bench? I don't know.
Well, that would help. You get Kevin Durant, but you trade the whole bench away. And I don't know about you, Josh, but I watched the playoffs with the Suns, and I think that the result could have been different if maybe they had some players off the bench.
There's a chance. There is a chance. So they get rid of Chris Paul. We'll see who they're going to replace him with. Where does Chris Paul go after this?
That's the thing is you got to think about it. Chris now, he kind of gets the short end of the stick, right? But we know that he's going to be in good hands. He's got his brother Cliff going to take care of him. Got the good insurance this time.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I'm sure Cliff will help him land a good spot. People are calling for him to go to the Lakers, Josh.
Really? So they're going to get Chris. Why would they get Chris Paul and Kyrie though?
I mean, you got to run it back. I mean, we're talking about a super team in LA.
Absolutely, you're right.
Because we know, look, Chris Paul, we see his final success. Kyrie Irving, we've seen how good he has been these last few years.
Yeah.
LeBron James, he's only getting younger.
100%.
And Anthony Davis, I mean, if you're talking about one of the most durable players in the league, I think Anthony Davis comes to mind.
Yep. So, well, hey, listen, if he goes to the Lakers, good for the Lakers, I guess. Because clearly, them bringing in a big name point guard has worked many times in the past. And so I'm sure it will continue to work moving forward. I mean, speaking of unexpected, Patrick, we're going to jump topics
ship
a
here a little bit. Yeah,
but this was unexpected. We are still talking about the PGA Live merger.
We're talking about it. And this isn't a golf show, Josh.
I mean, and this is the aftermath of, this is a huge deal, right? PGA, and Live put down their swords and they say, hey, we're gonna work together and we're gonna make a super league. And instead of having two leagues, why don't we have one league? Which the PGA Tour said, that's what we've been trying to do all along. We've been trying to have one league.
Right.
And so is this going to be like an NFC and AFC coming together to form the NFL? It would be if the AFC was paid millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars and the NFC was paid nothing, and then they're still going to be on those contracts and playing together like nothing happened.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the NFC players, they turned down that money. They said, you know what? We don't want that AFC
We
money.
believe what the NFC is building.
Mm-hmm. And then to come to a merger, now they're like, it's tough. It's tough to see that.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, first of all, to turn down like Royal McIlroy, turn down allegedly $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot that I would not do for $500 million. Like, $500 million moves the needle for me in pretty much every way.
That's your price. That's your price, Josh.
Pretty much in every way. I mean, like, I'm not going to have you guys try to think of things that I wouldn't do for $500 million.
Right. Because everybody draws a line at some point. Yeah,
but at the same time, just know if you want my services for a lot of things in life, $500 million will do it.
Well, and you know what's great about this merger, Josh, is that you have these two entities. They've gone at each other. They've gone at each other. A lot of bad things said about each other, and then boom, they come together. Well, best part about this is they said we're merging, and they don't really know what that means. So no one else really knows what that means. We got Live execs saying, Live's going nowhere. We got PGA Tour saying Live's done. And I think they got some things to figure out.
So what you're telling me is that Live thinks that the PGA is going to be a part of Live, and then the PGA thinks Live's going to be a part of the PGA.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it just seems like there's maybe a little bit of disagreements. Maybe there's a huge gray area in the middle for these guys to figure out. But look, they put themselves in their position. I'm sure they can figure it out. They're adults. They'll sit at the table. They'll figure it out. Maybe Saudi Arabia throws in a couple more million. They go, hey, here's a couple extra dollars. Maybe a little bit bigger seat at the table. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
What happens when what if the Lift boys just go, like, at any time? It seems like listen, the Saudis, they have an extra $1.6 billion from not signing Messi.
Right, exactly, because that was in the budget.
That was in the budget. That was in the budget. They get that now, right?
It goes back. It was right back on the table for them.
Exactly, because they had to pay it, because then they're going to have a surplus, and they're not going to get for next year. And they
right. If we learned anything from The Office, is you can't have the surplus. You got to spend it.
You have to spend it, right? So they have that extra $1.6 billion. Why can't Live at any time just go, okay, we're done with this. We're gonna pay players even more money, and then just walk out. And then PGA's gonna be like, oh no, come on, no, we're gonna, like, PGA really is at the hands of Live. It feels like, but Patrick, I mean, I don't understand. We just talked about it. We know the solution. It's you keep Live and PGA separate. They play each other in some matches throughout the year. And then at the end of the year, you take the best golfers from the PGA, the best golfers from Live, and you have them in a super golf tournament.
Super Golf League. I mean, you're talking about the SGL here, Josh.
And it's super, and it's like, it's one giant, like,
it's
tournament.
It's actually the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't. They're going to have playoffs separately within Live and PGA.
Right.
And then we're going to take the best from
that's
Live
that's the
and
play-in.
the best from the PGA.
That's the play-in game. I don't think you understand, Josh. That's the play-in tournament to get to the playoffs. Is you get your play-in game from each league to get you to the playoffs. And and that's kind of like your Super Bowl of sorts, because you're pairing these two up. And
I don't know why. It just seems so easy, and it kind of upsets me, and it really makes me question the PGA leadership. But that wouldn't be the first time they've been questioned. So, Patrick, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen here? Is this going to really? Are they going to be really together? Or
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, you're going out with a girlfriend and you announce to the world, it's like, hey, we're back together, and then everyone in the world's like, hey, did you just overlook all these red flags? And so you start thinking and you go, maybe that was a dumb decision. Maybe I should have thought that one through a little bit more. But
you already made an announcement. You got to stick to it, because that's pretty embarrassing.
Then you look embarrassing if you switch. So it's like you're kind of tied down for at least a month now.
Oh yeah, you're 100% tied down for at least a month.
And because that's a tough position, because you don't want to look like the guy that like gets back together, breaks up 3 days later, and it's tough.
You can't do that. Speaking of $1.6 billion to Messi, the MLS is back, seemingly, but it's hard to say it's back, because for it to be back, it would have to be really been there in the first place.
Yeah, which has been an issue for them.
But new fans are coming to the sport. I just saw a Reddit page guy on Reddit asking, say, hey, new Inter Miami fan here. Tell me, like, what's our team? Who's the players?
And you know what? It's good to get the fan support.
Who do we hate? Is there an AC in Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Are we like why are we pink? Why is there 2 conferences in the MLS?
Mm-hmm.
Answer to that, one's not enough for Messi. So we're talking it's a very good time for the MLS. I mean, MLS currently has the most followed team in
North American sports.
North American sports. Insane. The needle what he does with the international audience is insane.
Moves the needle.
And so it's going to be interesting to see, like, does this actually progress the game of soccer in the United States, of the MLS? Is that going to be is it going to be a real thing? Is it going to catch on? I don't know. I don't know.
If Messi
Patrick
does not score 2 goals in his debut, I will, for one, be disappointed.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know how good the refs are at blowing penalties, though. Like, how many penalties are given up?
Oh, we're not talking about Penaldo here. We're talking about Lionel Messi, the greatest soccer player of all time, as some say.
Oh, well, some would say Pesci.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
I'm
not saying that.
And hypothetically, John, this is hypothetical.
Okay.
If I'm the MLS and I'm paying a lot of money to come get this guy, I'm probably gonna have him like show out his first couple games.
Yeah.
So then you keep having the league talk about him.
Yep. Okay.
But hey, not an expert.
You're not an expert. But Patrick, I think that's gonna happen. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's gonna sell out. Like, he's gonna go on a tour. It's gonna be similar to the Taylor Swift Eras tour.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit smaller scale potentially because stadium's not as
Stadiums
big.
don't hold as much, but you know what? We can maybe add a little bit of seating. Because we know the dates are in advance. You can plan for it.
Have you ever heard Messi speak English?
That could be an issue, but I think we'll work around it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be. I mean, it might be an issue, is what I'm saying. But I mean, who knows? Maybe they got.
He could be phenomenal in English. We don't know.
Yeah.
And regardless, Josh, I don't think that matters.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to let his play talk for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's always done that. So, good for the MLS. Hey, Patrick, do you have a team, Patrick? What's your MLS team?
My MLS team, Josh. It's been tough. You start looking around the league and you start going, well, who should I be? And like, who should I be a fan of? And I'm a huge fan of the Nashville Soccer Club. I think what they're putting together, Nashville SC, is they're getting Broadway.
Yeah, Patrick, the Nashville Soccer Club was the first one that I was drawn to strictly because they had the boldness to say, we're a soccer club. We're not football club. We're soccer club. And I have immense respect for anybody who does that, because it's them saying, hey, we're an American team.
Mm-hmm.
We play in America.
Nashville, American country music home. They're playing
think about this. I mean, you got Austin FC, Charlotte FC, Chicago Fire FC, FC Cincinnati.
Uh-huh.
Then you got FC Dallas, Houston Dynamo FC, which Houston Dynamo would be an awesome name. And then you threw FC in there.
I don't feel like that was needed.
Yeah, just Houston Dynamo. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Inter Miami CF, which kind of wild.
Right.
CF Montreal.
There was a good accent there.
Thank you. I mean, and then I think that's Seattle Sounders FC, St. Louis City SC.
But why did they need to say it St. Louis City? Like, why isn't it just St. Louis?
Toronto FC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. You're right, Patrick. I'm going to be a Nashville SC fan.
And that's good.
It's the closest SC team to me.
Yeah, we're officially a Nashville SC show. Let's go. Congratulations to Nashville.
Time to figure out who the players are.
And we're
going to figure out all that.
Because it's the summer break, we got people. I'm sure we're probably at the top of the table, Josh.
Probably. I'm sure we are. Speaking of figuring out tonight how the Heat are going to possibly beat Jokic is on the mind of Eric Spoelstra.
I think he figures it out, Josh. I got Heat in Game 4 because Heat culture. We talk about the Heat culture, and we know, Josh, we're talking about Denver, a city. It's pretty cold most of the year. They play at the high altitude, and you got to think from Game 2 in Miami, right? Because you already played Game 1 in Miami. That was Game 3.
Yeah,
this is the second game in Miami. You got to think the conditions are going to get to them. The hot humidity. It's tough for a traveling team to get there.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I 100% agree
It's the
with
conditions.
that statement. That being said, I mean, last game, dude, it was tough. When you got Jokic and Murray putting up triple doubles, that's usually
Tough
problematic.
to beat. Yeah.
Now, the Tyler Hero situation of this whole thing is really what interests me because, to my knowledge, he's not coming back this game.
He isn't. He is not.
And whether that's because his hand's just not 100%, he's not feeling 100% Tyler Hero to take from Zion, maybe. He's also mentioned that, hey, there's like a chemistry thing, right? He recognizes that their team was gelling without him. He doesn't want to come in and throw it off. My argument to that is they just got the brakes beat off them.
Yeah.
Feels like I don't know if chemistry is going to be
But it's Heat culture, Josh.
the entire
It's Heat culture. That's part of Heat culture, man.
So he's just gonna not play.
I don't think you understand.
Maybe I don't understand. It feels like that's like a game you'd want one of you're probably your second best player on the court.
Josh, maybe he doesn't have the reps in. You know, he comes in. It's not a Heat culture thing to do to make your own players look bad. Because what if he looks bad and he comes back?
Maybe.
Hear me out, Josh. Maybe the Heat just need to make some shots. Bring in Duncan Robinson, make a couple shots, get Caleb Martin off the bench.
Kevin Love, get him going.
Silver Fox, Kevin Love. I mean, this
Yeah.
may be the best Kevin Love we've seen yet. You get him going, Josh, they may be tough to stop.
Okay, so you're going official pick.
Official picks Miami Heat, game 4. They take the win.
I want to. Listen, it's not that I'm not rooting for Miami. It's that
That's good. It's good.
And I was talking with a guy at the movie theater last night, the guy serving the popcorn.
Well, that's good, Josh. It's
And
always good to have the
he
conversation.
was like,
Small talk,
what?
right?
Either way, it's like, you got Denver, they're new team winning, and I get that. But then again, I hate new teams winning. So
Right, because it throws off the balance of the league, Josh.
yeah, you're right. So I'm still rooting for Miami pretty hard.
Which is good. And
but
big week for Miami, Josh.
But I'm picking the Nuggets to win this game.
Big week for Miami. We get Messi coming there. I mean, you just got to cap it off. Cap it off with the Heat win.
Nah, I think Nuggets get the win here.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Second prediction, second preview of the show. We got the NASCAR preview for Sonoma. Now, we're coming down to the wire.
We're going road course here.
I mean, we're over the halfway point of the season. We're in the spot where drivers are going to have to start making a push here for the playoffs. If you haven't won a race yet,
it's time to do it.
Now's the time. Now's the time. And there's several drivers here who were put in seemingly must-win situations for winning. I mean, you had the penalties / races missed this year. It's been kind of ridiculous. Chase Elliott, he missed and penalized, and kind of his own fault.
Kind of his own fault.
Some would say it was his own fault.
I would argue a lot of people would say.
Some would say
his own fault.
maybe his own fault. Jury's still out on that one. Eric Jones recently penalized. Chase Briscoe penalized. Alex Bowman penalized, but still in first place.
Penalized and injured.
Missing a ton of races. Somehow leading the points. So,
well, not leading the points, but gonna.
Oh no, he's not. He's not leading the points. Sorry, William Byron leading the points.
Penalized.
Leading the points.
Yeah.
So it's really going really well for all these for a few of those guys, the Hendrick boys especially. But
you got fast cars in the shop, Josh.
But still, it's like it's that time of year, time to win, time to figure things out. We got a road course. Obviously, whenever you get a road course, it's the better drivers. They're gonna find their way to the front,
and that's what you get.
And you got a couple road course drivers who are particularly well known for their road course ability. Patrick, who do you got today?
Josh, I'm going with a bit of a long shot to win Sonoma. It's a guy that you listed. He needs a win. Not a friend of the show, unfortunately, with Eric Jones. I'm going Chase Briscoe plus 5,000 on the odds to win. Chase, he's a pretty good road course driver. I think he needs a win. He's got to get a win, and this is his chance to do so. Okay,
so I got a guy who plus 500. So pretty. I mean, plus 5. You get plus 500 odds on anything. You're feeling good about that.
Yeah, it's a value pick.
It's a value pick. Kyle Larson to win. Sitting it there, second best odds behind Tyler Reddick. And I think he can get it done. Can you imagine it's minus 150 for a top 5 finish from him? That seems kind of ridiculous.
Maybe DraftKings could help you out a
Do
little bit.
Do they know there's only 5 people who can finish top 5?
Top 5, and that's like 5 out of like 36.
Ridiculous.
Like, what happens if you wreck, Josh? You don't get your money back.
Yeah.
Not a dime back.
Yeah. What are we doing? Cool. Well, that's the show, guys. Thank you guys for listening, watching, and subscribing. Make sure you guys go to our Instagram at Picks and Pancakes.
Pretty easy.
And DM us for a free mug and a $10 McDonald's gift card courtesy of the show. Also, make sure you go to picksandpancakes.com to read everything that's happening in sports. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday, where I'm sure we'll have a lot of sports to react to, including the finals.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
The NASCAR race.
Yes, NASCAR race. And PGA Tour event.
Is there one?
Yes, there is. They're in Canada.
This is the first one since the
merger, yes. So
are there going to be live guys there?
No.
Well, it doesn't feel like it's a merger then, does it?
No. It feels like it's 2 separate entities. Like I said, Josh, they got things to figure out, man.
Got things to figure out. Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful day. A peace.